Welcome to another episode of the Talking with Top podcast. I'm your host, Todd Carter, where I have conversations with extraordinary people who are making a difference in their communities. Today's episode is sponsored by 93 Michi Beats. Forget your producer, my beats are made by Michi. Today on the show, we have Amenna Scott. Amenna is a motivational speaker, and she's here to share her story. Before we get started, Amenna, tell everybody where you're from.
Hi, I'm from Washington, D.C.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So go ahead and just, I'll let you tell your story and just, tell your story.
Okay, well, I was been sick since I was 5 years old. Um, I used to have seizures all the time. Used to have seizures all the time, back to back to back to back. And my mommy was wondering why I used to have seizures all the time. And so she finally took me to the doctor, which it was at Children's Hospital. It was at Children's Hospital. And we went to a rheumatologist and they said that they did some tests on me. They did a lot of tests. So I had to go to a neurologist as well to subscribe for the seizures, to calm the seizures down as well. But as the test came back, of course, it was bad news because I was having high blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 200s and something. And they told me, my mommy, that I had symptomatic lupus. Uh-huh. And people that don't know what symptomatic lupus is a disease that attacks your organs. It attacks your organs, just your organs. It only attacks your organs. It also gives you side effects, though. It gives you seizures, joints, aches in your pain in joints. It also can affect your hair, your hairline. I mean, not your hairline, but your head. It could. I know it did mine. I'm just talking about what I went through with it. And so we had to do a biopsy. hmm About I was about 6 years old when I had my first biopsy. The needle was so long, about this big.
No.
And they have to strap you down. They don't give At the time, they don't give kids medicine. They don't give you medicine they just give you number medicine. They don't give kids actually, put you sleep type of medicine for a biopsy. And so they checked my kidneys, and both of them, they found that both of them was dead.
Ooh.
The lupus already killed my kidneys. So yep, at 6. I had 6. I had to.
It was aggressive then, because
Mm-hmm.
it takes a while
Yeah,
for your organs to break down like that.
yeah. So I had to have it for a while. That's what. But they said that they told my mommy it's very rare for children to get it. It's very rare for children to get it. And my mommy was so scared. She was like, "Wow, why my child have to go through this?" She was really scared, and how my daughter gonna live without no kidneys, right? So I had to be on dialysis. So I had to have surgery to get both of my kidneys taken out. hmm And my mommy wanted to do peritoneal dialysis, which is at home.
Okay.
I never really quite made it home. As far as the peritoneal dialysis, which I was so happy about it because I prayed to God when I first got on it, just to see how it flows. They let you see how it flows in a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and it hurted so bad when it drained, and I used to have to hold myself because it hurted so bad when it started to drain. So it wound up getting infection. Not happy because it got infected, but happy that I wasn't on the machine anymore.
Right.
That I had to do that one. So I had to face a fear that I didn't like, and that was getting needles.
Mm.
Um, I
Yeah, I'm
hated
afraid of
needles.
needles too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't like needles.
Mm-hmm.
So I got put on hemodialysis, which is the graft right here. So this is
Oh,
gra-
wow.
it's an AV graft. Um, it was on both arms. This one failed, so it had to be on my left arm. This is
Mm.
my first graft right here. And and so I was not pleased about it because I had to get the needles. But they had this little freeze cream, little freeze they spray, which you can't use it all the time, but for the first for the first few days, you can you can spray it. And I asked them to use it, and I didn't feel a thing. But after the first 3 days came, I had to feel everything, like the pain from the needle, because there's two needles that come on your arm, go on your arm, one for the and one for the venous, one for the artificial, and one for the venous. So that's two, one going in, one pushing the blood in, and putting the clean blood back in. So it's cleaning up all the toxicities that's in your, it's doing the things that the kidney does. So that's what hemodialysis does. For those that don't know about dialysis, but the machine is not put on Earth for people to stay long because it shows it deteriorates. It deteriorates your bones, all that stuff. Like see how long I've been on there. It kind of deteriorated some of my bones. So I've been on there for a long time, over 20 years,
Oh, wow.
like 20 years. I say 20 years. Haven't reached over 20 years, probably 21 years. I stopped counting. And I had to go through that. And I had to go through, that was the first battle that I ever had to face. I was never, couldn't go nowhere. My mother was so overprotective. My
Yeah.
mom was so overprotective of me going anywhere. So I never been to a beach. I never been places because I'm always in the hospital. Children's was my second home. I couldn't even get out the dialysis room without my doctor saying I had to be admitted. So I used to try to hide from him all the time because I know he gonna come to me and say, sorry, sweetie, you gotta get admitted." you know.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
so the
Did you
speaking about
attend
the,
school?
oh yes, I've been in school. I did both. Actually, I did school, homeschool,
Hmm.
back to school, back to homeschool. It was in and out for me. It was
Okay.
in and out. But I had my share of favorite teachers and not so favorite teachers. I had one teacher that bullied me all the time. I think it's because, yeah, just because you're different than the other people. You're different. And
Well, not
I was in elementary.
just
I was in elementary that time.
have
When
an
I,
illness per se. I would say I wouldn't call it different. Maybe just have an illness.
yeah, maybe that too.
Yeah,
I
because
used to
a lot of people have illness, so I don't think that make us different. I mean, it will make you different, but I know I see what you're saying. It's just
ordinary,
okay.
ordinary. That's it, ordinary. Make you ordinary because she used to always take her other class. I mean, our class in trips, on trips and stuff. And me, she never take me.
Oh, well, I
She
probably wouldn't take you either, though. I mean, because I would be afraid to take you. Like maybe
no,
afraid.
but it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
No,
I was smart. I made A's and B's in class.
no,
My teacher
that's
was
not what I'm
strict.
saying. I'm saying like I probably would have been afraid to take you, away somewhere else, and then something go wrong while you're out there. Is probably why.
Oh yeah, that's true. That could have been an answer, but I didn't get that at the age I was because she used to always humiliate me, put me in front of the class, and that wasn't good for me. But I never understood that. So she had her she had her picks. She had her pick,
Mm.
and she was one of those type of teachers. She had her picks. She had her picks that she didn't like. She had her picks that she somewhat liked, but she had her picks that she did like her group. So that was going on. But the thing about it, I got sick again, And this time the lupus, it was still active at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it got knots in my head all around here. As a matter of fact, I was at camp. I just came home from camping, and I had these knots growing in my head. And the lupus, that was the first time it actually reacts like that extreme,
Mm-hmm.
besides taking my kidneys. Um, but I had to get all my hair cut off, so I had to start my hair back. All my hair cut off, and I was in a burn unit. I was in a burn unit. So all these kids,
Slow down, slow down for me. Slow down for me. So, okay, because I'm a little bit familiar with the dialysis part because I, you know, had a loved one who had to go to dialysis. And I do know that sometimes some of the things that they do to you, it does burn your skin. So is that what you're talking about when you're saying that you had burns?
no, I didn't have burns. I didn't have burns. They just put me in the burn unit because that was the only one. That unit had the whirlpool, which I needed the
Okay.
whirlpool for my scalp.
Okay.
But I was in the burn unit at that time, and you see all these kids. I mean, infants, just burn, and
Mhm.
you a kid yourself, and you like feel sorry because
Yeah.
they have to go through. They have to go through that, and you don't know the pain that they feel as well. So it was difficult time for me, and that's what I went through far as my sickness. I got a kidney transplant May 16th, 2020. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
happy about
Okay,
that.
so slow down for me. So slow down. So let me just say this too. So I do understand when you were talking about the burn because my youngest daughter, which is 13 today, she got a burn when she was 9 months. And it was where I was flat ironing my oldest daughter hair. And so I went into the kitchen to get the bagel out of the oven. And she had just started crawling. So she was way across the other side of the living room. Well, in the den. We were in the den area. And when I went to the kitchen and came back, she had moved over to where we were sitting on the fire. We were sitting on like a brick fireplace. You know how you have those brick fireplaces where you can sit right there.
Mhm.
And we were sitting there and I was flat out in her hair and she got caught on to that. So I do understand but not me, but my daughter, because we did have to go to the burn unit for months. And and she does have a scar in like two places, on her. It's like a big scar on her foot, and then she has a scar going down her leg. And I would say that experience was so dramatic for me because I cried all the way to Children's Hospital. And
Right.
even now, sometimes when I look at it now, it just bothers me because that happened and she had to endure that. And it was, I want to say she received like third-degree burns, but so, and I would see other children in the burn unit,
Mhm.
that you would pass, and it was. And one of the things I will always be so thankful is that my daughters, it was bad, but it was some that I would see that was like covered from like a fire, and it was worse than what my daughter was. So I was very thankful
Yeah.
that for one that she was smaller because it was so bad. The burn was it basically kind of like on her foot. It just kind of made it where her heel was just it was burned. So it's kind of like they had to, reshape it a little bit.
Oh,
And you can't even see that because of when it's on certain, like when it's on this part, it looks different. It don't look bad when it looks worse on this part. And so
mhm.
you can't really tell this part of the heel and stuff like that. But yeah, so definitely just wanted to share that, with
Yeah,
you.
I'm telling you, it's bad. And I was looking at, you see all them burn children and even infants in there.
Yeah.
Moms crying. It,
Yeah.
it bothered me. It bothered me because I was like, I don't even know why I'm in here. I'm just in here for a whirlpool for my head. But it was so sad. You
So
know.
before you tell me about when you got your kidney, I want to go back to I read in your bio that you experienced a near death experience. So tell
Mhm.
me about the near death experience.
Well, I was still on dialysis at that time when that happened. My brother slash cousin, um, passed. He was um he was 17,
Oh,
and we were right under each other. So his birthday is June 12th, and mine is March 12th.
okay.
So it's like we was like that. And that day it was that day was so crazy because I just saw him that last night, and I said, begging him to stay home. For
Hmm.
some reason, I was begging him to stay home that day, and I said, "Come on, bro, we can watch, Bad Boys Friday. Gonna walk to the Shell, and let's go get our Lay's salt and America potato chips, and let's do it up, you know." And he was like, nah, but he wanted to hang with our big brother, He wanted to hang with Big Brother. He wanted to hang with Big Brother. That's fine with me. I said, okay, so you want to just, you don't want to hang with me. You want to hang with him. Okay, that's fine. We fight about it. And then that's funny. We fight about everything. Everything about who gonna spend more time with Big Brother, who gonna do this, his hat. Oh my goodness, he'd be having Gucci hats, Louis Vuitton hats, Fendi hats, and we'd be fighting over that. I'll be like, it's my turn to fight that and wear that hat. You had it on last day, the other day. So, we just fight and get right back together that second, right? So that day he went to the club with my big bro, and and he got shot. He was helping somebody,
I'm sorry.
family,
Mm-hmm.
helping somebody in the club. He always was that protector because I used to get bullied all the time. So he was the only one that would come out and fight whoever I wanted to fight. I was a geek, so it wasn't like little nerd. So it wasn't like I had that fight in me at that
Right.
time. And he would do all the things, do it, whatever. Who want to see me? Who want to smoke? Who want this? And so that day was an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking to somebody we knew that he was protecting. He called her, he called her mom. It wasn't his real mom, but he called her a mom because like his godmother, something
Right.
like. And so and so then next thing I'm up. See, I'm in a room. I'm in our room. I'm thinking, why they not home? It's like
Right.
3, 4 o'clock. I know the clubs let out about 3 something, 4 something o'clock. So they still didn't get him, but we got a phone call. We got a phone call, and they said that they was locked up. So I'm happy about that. Not happy that they got locked up, but happy they they all
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But but not knowing that my brother's last cousin already died.
Mm.
He died in my brother's arms. He got shot. They blocked the car and they shot it up, and I was devastated. But
Mm-hmm.
I deal with it. And so when I'm going to the I'm at, I just get off from dialysis and I'm coming in and I see all these people just lying down, just around. And I'm wondering why they head down, why everybody feels, you feel that energy like everybody's sad. And he just broke up with his baby mother. So I said, oh, see, I told you. I'm looking at her going through the time. I told you and my brother was gonna get back together. I'm the only one smiling and chilling and everything. So I go in the apartment and I felt something come through me.
Mm.
And I was like, and something told me, don't open the door. Don't open the door. Because I mean, I had a hard time opening this door. And I'm wondering why I feel this. Something is wrong. And I didn't know who it was. It could have been my big brother. I
Right.
didn't think it was him because some of the fact he know how to run. He know how to run real fast. Not saying that my big brother don't know how to run, but he know how to run real fast. And so everything just happened. And then my aunt boyfriend said she don't even know what's going on. And my mommy tell me that Lord Tyrone, my brother, his cousin Pat. He's really my cousin, but I call him my brother.
Right.
And not like this. That's not true. That's not true. So I've been in the denial. So father going on, let's go up a little bit. I went to even after his funeral, I've been seeing him passed and everything. Didn't believe that was him. And this when I tell you, you don't even know when depression is hitting you from that moment. I'm still going through what I'm going through, and I go to community college. I say I'm gonna go to community college, visual communication because I was into designing animation and stuff. And so that day, my teacher asked me to do a paper. It's called The Meaning of Life, and I told her what it meant. That, we was in hell and all that stuff on earth and everything. And it was very disturbing. My letter was very disturbing. And so I had everybody crying. Didn't do nothing to me. Didn't affect me at the time. But we went to Chili's, and that's the time when I said I was going to end my life. From that point, went home. I missed like 4 days of dialysis. From that day, I started missing days, missing dialysis days. And, but the final day, my heart, my heart started beeping real fast. But it wasn't like it was nervous about anything. It wanted to come out my heart. It wanted to come out my body.
Mm.
Like it was hard like a brick. Like it wanted to step out. And I'm like looking at it. Like I'm visualizing it in my hand speaking to me. Talk about something helping me. I'm like,
Mm.
what? What you say? Like, you like, what? What you say? You ain't say that to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting scared. And I'm
Right.
telling my mommy something wrong, something wrong. Not scared, not at the point that at that time I wasn't scared to die, but I was scared at what was going on with me.
Mm.
So I said, mommy, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. I'm scared. I'm really nervous, and I'm still visualizing blood coming out my hand, and I'm next thing I know, my mommy my mommy say, okay, just calm down. And I couldn't calm down because my heart wouldn't let me calm down.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be at a hospital before I die right there. You know, luckily this is when God steps in. My aunt and my cousin come around 11 something. Now we didn't have transportation to get no hospital until God sent my cousin and my aunt there. It was around 11 something at night. And we went all the way to Georgetown Hospital. Could have went anywhere. We're around 501 53rd Street Southeast, and we went all the way up northwest to get this. And so I went up there, and by the time I got up there, I couldn't walk. Couldn't walk. They had to wheel me. They had to wheel me in, pick me up, wheel me in. And by the time they checked my heart, the nurse couldn't even believe what she saw. So she said by the time she checked this, she said she had to check it again. But by the time she checked it again, I went into cardiac arrest.
Oh Lord.
And
Oh.
then I'm seeing as I'm going through this, I could actually see everything. And that this I mean, I'm not lying to you, and I'm telling you the truth. I saw my mother. I'm dead. I could see myself laying on that thing, and I
Mm.
could see my mommy holding my hand, actually crying to me. Mimi, she called me Mimi, Mimi, Mimi. While the doctors doing what they do, you know.
So it's
I'm
like
like,
you having an out of body experience or something.
that's what I that's what I said. I think I had that because I
Mm-hmm.
could see my mom. I could see my mommy. I could see them. I could see them right there crying. And at the time, you could hear. I could hear. All I heard was go back into your body. Go back. And I was so upset because I already knew who that was. He didn't. And I'm thinking he don't want me. I'm like, why you don't want me to go into? Why you want me to go back into my body? This body is unhealthy. I
Mm.
don't want to be here. I was ready. I'm like ready. And I went back to my body. Next thing I know, I'm in my body. And doctors, I stayed in the hospital for a couple of months, just probably a month or two, to see if everything was fine. By the time I got back to dialysis, going back to dialysis, I finally broke down about my brother.
Mhm.
Finally broke down about my brother. I was listening to a Tevin Campbell song, "Never Say Goodbye,"
Mm.
and I broke down. Couldn't even get on the machine, and I broke down right at the weight machine. And my sister Brenda, which is my oldest sister, she told me, Mina, come to church with me. Come to church with me. And I kept denying her, but this time I said I'm gonna go. I said I'm gonna go to church. I said I was gonna go, and then I went, and I was like, "What is this?" Because we come from a Catholic background.
Mhm.
We didn't come from a Christian church. We came from a Catholic background. So when I saw all these people jumping up and crying, and it was weird to me because we don't do that in Catholic religion. So we don't do that. We don't jump up and you know we don't shout hallelujah and all that stuff. We don't do that. We just go confessions and confess our sins and do that and pray on our rosary, and that's what we do. And so went there. My other big sister, my pastor asked for anybody that need, which is my pastor now, asked me did anybody requires prayer. So we went up there. My sister dragged me up there actually, and when he prayed for me, I'm telling you right now, I never felt something so strong in my life.
Mhm.
I was like, what is that? What is that? And for my first experience, I'm like, I don't know what this is. But I asked my big sister Brenda, I said, what's that? What's that? And she told me that was God, right? So
Mhm.
I said, God, because I was mad at God. I'm talking about I was mad. I was mad at God because I was like, you let me suffer going through this body. I want to be with my brother and
Mhm.
everything. But that day, it felt like I felt different, like I was being loved because I never
With his
didn't think
presence.
nobody loved me. At
Mhm.
that, when I was in my depression, I didn't think nobody loved me. Not even my mom. Not even my mom. I'm, you don't see what you really see. You see only what you see, but you don't see what they're doing and how selfish you when you're in a downfall in the stage. Like when I tried to kill my life, only thing I was thinking about was my brother slash cousin. The only thing I want to be was with him. I never thought about how my mommy would feel without me. And that's what I mean by being selfish, thinking about me,
Yeah.
not others. And it was so devastating to me. And I
Mhm.
vowed to God never, never take my life again. Even if I do feel sad, I learn to pray, you know.
Absolutely.
So I grew from that, and
Mhm.
it and it opened up so much for me because I had to release from losing my brother slash cousin. I had that release. I had to grow through it. It made me want to speak for those that been gunned down by gun violence.
Mhm.
It put a fight in me, instead of me bringing a fight out of it. Made me think of yeah, I could do something. I said instead of dying, I could do something. I could
Right.
do something for my brother slash cousin. I could honor him in his
Absolutely.
name. And
Absolutely.
so it was at that time it was dramatic, but it turned to victory at the end because God got the victory out of it. And I was so happy joining my church, Victoria's Life of Faith Church.
Mhm.
And my pastor name is Victor Fur. and my first lady name is Nadine First. And I love it. It's like a new beginning. It was a new beginning for me.
Right.
And I never want anyone to go through that.
Right.
Anyone.
Let me just say this. I do have a cousin that committed suicide about 2 years ago, and it came out of nowhere, and so suicide is something that's near and dear to me because I actually became a mental health advocate just because of that and just some other things that some other family members have experienced just made me have a soft heart when it comes to mental health. So definitely glad that you know, did not die and that you were
Yeah.
able to be here and tell your story because life can get very hard and you can get so depressed and you can just feel in such a low that you want to take. So that's something that's starting to be so common now. And especially with the younger generation, you just
Yeah.
everywhere you turn is somebody committed suicide or somebody did something like that or tried. And so I just know that that's just something that I want to help to try to change or bring awareness to to let people understand that it is a selfish act, but people can get so low where
Yes.
that's just the only way out that you feel. And so I just want to create something where it's a safe space for people to talk about when they're having those type of feelings. So
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea because if I look back and I had someone to talk to, I probably wouldn't have did what I did
mhm.
because it was hard to talk to my mommy. It was hard to talk to most of my family because they feel like you the encouraged one. You the
Right.
strong one in the family. You
And
my
them were the
shoulder.
ones who need it though.
Hmm.
It's people like you because that's another thing. This particular cousin, he was the life of the party. He was always the one that will come around, and he was always the one who will always say, "At I don't care where he saw you, he's gonna always say, I love you." And he
Yeah,
would be the one who you would see, and it just looked like everything is just good with him, you know.
right.
But you don't know what people is going through internally. And all
That's
because people are
exactly.
smiling and they're functioning, you don't know what's going on with them in those moments when they're by themselves. And that's just the thing that so what I try to do is that I try to give kind words to people, talk to people that people don't want to talk to. I do that all the day. I do that all the time because I just want to make sure that I'm, doing something to make people feel special
Yes, so
or heard.
that's the best part. That's the best part when you out there encouraging others. I wanted to do a suicide awareness as well. Because I do have a clothing line.
Okay.
I wanted to, but it's not up and running yet.
Hmm.
Um, um, I wanted to do a like a outfit for suicide, encourage outfit for suicide. So that's my next what I'm going to do. And it's like I said, when people are going through, I mean, you don't. Let me just say, you don't know what you're going through in the household. You
Hmm.
think everything is fine. People could come to your house and be like, "Oh, you got all this stuff. You got all this stuff, and
Hmm.
got all this stuff, girl." And you complaining. It's not about the stuff. It's not about
Right.
stuff. It's something deeper than that. Okay, you see the stuff, the material stuff. It's something else going on, and that's exactly what was going on with my brother slash cousin. My, I we I used to see my cousin get beat up every day, every
Hmm.
day by my uncle every day, and you don't know what that's like for kids. And
Right.
look at somebody get beat up all day, all night, all day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back then my uncle was abusive.
Mm-hmm.
We used to get teased all the time because he did stuff. You know, used to get teased all the time, and things you have in your house, people don't see it because they not in there 24/7 like you are.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
they don't see why this is going on. Why you feeling like this? Why my brother slash cousin going through this? Why he
Right.
acting out like this?
Mm-hmm.
These are the reasons. These are the reasons. And so it's like when people see you, they be like, "Oh, you okay, meaning? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay." But really deep inside, at that time, I was miserable. I was miserable. I was done with life. I was done with everything around it, about it, because I felt like life wasn't fair. Life wasn't fair. Like, and I said it because my brother, I said he didn't even have a second to live because it was like too much was going on around him. But then as I got healed from everything and God showed me it was his time
Mm-hmm.
and it was his time, it was okay and things with him will be okay because he's with him. He's with the
Right.
Father.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I had to really, but at a young age you don't really see all that. You don't see all that. All you see is what someone took from you.
Right.
This guy, this conniving guy got some people to shoot somebody that you love.
Mm-hmm.
He was a coward. He couldn't do it by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he never got locked up. The mastermind behind it, but the people that shot my brother slash cousin did, but the mastermind never got caught.
Wow. And a lot of that goes on. That is
Mhm.
a lot of that goes on. All right. So let me ask you this. How did you discover your purpose after this near death experience? How did you discover your purpose in life?
It took me some time because I had to get over a lot of things, a lot of issues, especially with God. God tell a lot of issues had to be a long time with God. And I finally, when God told me to start speaking and speaking, I knew right there I started to get bold
Mm-hmm.
and that other side of me started to come out because I started to see a change in me. I started to see, oh yes, that's you right there. That's you. And God told me I was going to be a spiritual motivational speaker, and I knew that was my purpose because the thing about it, I love to encourage others. I love to encourage others, and I love to see people smile. I don't like to see nobody in pain. And I
Right.
love to be praying for others. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
intercessor. I love to pray for people. I love it because anything that got God written on it, I'm I'm 100% there. It's like you call me, I'm there. You
Mm-hmm.
be like, Nina, I need you to pray for this person, that person. Oh yes, okay. Let me go get my anointing oil, and we're gonna tear it up. Whatever it is that we need to do, tear that devil off, loose him, and everything else he needs to be happening. And that's how I am with anybody that come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody talk to me, I be like, nah, we're not gonna do it on online. No, you just call me by on the phone, and
Right.
I'm always there to listen. It don't matter who they are. Like my friend, I had a friend this was my beginning. My beginning this was my beginning when I had to actually listen to somebody that was into pornography. Right. So I said, I said, God, what you want me to do with him? I'm not into pornography. So then I was like, I said, okay, God, okay. I see you just gonna bring anybody my way right now, right? So
Yeah.
okay, I said, okay, I'm available. So he started talking to me and I started listening and he told me about his situation and everything. And that's when he was talking about he was so addicted to a pornography. And
Mm.
I told him, have you ever started reading the word? Sometimes you gotta read the word and then sometimes you gotta pray right then and there. Pray
Right.
right then and there when that attack come. When you feel like you about to look, I told him when you feel like you need to let that flush hover over you. No, you say, I rebuke that flush, and you start to pray and be like, God, remove this thing from me. I know it's a stronghold on me, but I pray right now, Father God, in your name, Jesus, that you just release it right now in the name of Jesus. And I told him, start just pleading the blood of Jesus over yourself
Absolutely.
and over your addiction, because God is a miracle worker. He is able to take that thing right up out of there. And I told him that was my first tag. And then I went to somebody, then God brought me somebody that was going through depression from losing her mother.
Mhm. Okay, well that is awesome. Um,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, how have your life changed since you became a spiritual motivational speaker?
Oh, it changed great. I mean, you're not gonna be up all the time, but
Right.
you're gonna have your down spurs. But I don't care what it is. Like I'm in my down spur season right now. I'm in the valley right now. But uh I love it. I love it because God meets people in the valley. I love it. It's like, oh my goodness. When I'm speaking to someone, or if I'm going towards someone that needs to talk, it's like I can feel their spirit. I know when somebody's hurt. I know when somebody need to talk to me. I know this. Like, I prayed, man, my cousin didn't even know I was praying for him. My big cousin, he was going through cancer. I was praying for him, just constantly praying for him. And guess what? God worked it out. There you go. See, because I'm like, I always talk about the lady with the issue of blood, and I always talk about Apostle Paul and Silas, because they're my favorite ones. And Jeremiah, I love Jeremiah. Like, you could be in, think about Apostle Paul and Silas. He was in the jail cell for a reason.
Mhm.
He was in there because, see, he needed to minister to those that was in prison. But see, he didn't know that his 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 followers was out there praying. And then that's when the doors got unlocked, chains started breaking. And I love that because once you start putting your trust and everything in God, things will start to change. And I
Absolutely.
love it because he's able. And I love it. And that's why my purpose means everything to me. Like, I have a vision that I'm going to I'm going to be out there at the Grammys, touching souls, and
Amen.
people coming up on the stage getting saved. I'm just that positive in what about my God, about what He gonna do.
Mhm. Absolutely. That
Hmm.
I love it. I love
Yes, I love it. I love it. It changes me. Like, if I'm on Facebook and I'm doing Team Jesus all day, oh, it changes me. It changes me. It's like I get more power.
Mhm.
I be feeling it, and I be like, yeah, you stepping into the room right now, and I
Yeah.
be in the spirit side, and it's a lot that I love. I love when people come on there and even the disagreeers,
Mhm.
because I'm like this. I love it. Hey, you come on and disagree, but I'm gonna turn that disagree into an agreement when I'm over.
Right. You have a chance to minister and you have a chance to share your faith with people when you run into people like that. So that's
Hmm.
one thing that I've been doing more of. And that's a reason why I started this channel too, because my channel is designed to inspire and to encourage. And so one of the things that I was saying, I don't want people to think that I just want to come on here and tell a sad story. But as I was sleeping last night and I had left my TV on YouTube, and I can't remember the lady, but it was one lady. She was preaching at I want to say it was Evolve TV with Sarah Jakes, but it was a lady that she had on there, and she was just talking about how she had cancer in her body, and she was just talking about she didn't want to just go around telling a sad story, but she also wanted people to understand how God brought her through. And that's the thing that I want to do on this channel. It's just that I want people to tell their stories and tell how God brought them through this thing, not to just get folks, you know,
Right, you.
the bad things that happen. Like, I don't
That's
want to hear
right.
all the bad from you. I
Yes.
want to hear how you know that when you went through that, you know that God brought you through. And
That's
those are the things
exactly.
that I want to share because it's people all over the world going through things. And I feel like we have to show how God shows up for people,
Yeah.
not just me, not just you, but how he's showing up for people and definitely people who believe in him. And that's why I say you got to believe in something.
Yeah.
Like for
That's
me it's
right.
God. So that's
That's,
what I'm doing. I love being in my purpose right now, talking to people. I have met some amazing people with some amazing stories, and right now I'm just so thankful because I know that God is using me in a mighty way, whether I'm
yeah.
getting all the views or not. If I just touch one person, I
That's
know that
right.
I'm walking in my purpose.
That's right. One person. That's how I am. I don't care how many views I get, lost. I touch a soul and
Mhm.
bring them to Christ. That's me all day. I love him because mm, I love him because he changed me. Okay, I love him. Not It's not even just because he changed me. It's because he was there the whole time. The whole
Mhm.
time, even though I didn't even know it.
Mhm.
And I went through what I was going through. And that's exactly why I want people to understand that God is a miracle worker.
Mhm.
He's a healer. He's your doctor. He's your prescription. He's your lawyer. He's everything. As long as you trust in him and
Mhm.
seek him, like it's so. Oh, he got so much love. It's like
Mhm.
he got so much love. If you don't believe it, he sent down his son to die on the cross. I'm
Mhm.
just so amazed. Like I be so amazed when I talk about him because I be like, dang, I mean, dang, you you something else, And I
Mhm.
say that all the time. I say that you something else. And even though sometimes I be like, God, sometimes I don't hear God all the time. But
Mhm.
I be like, God, I just want to say thank you for whatever it is that I need to say thank you for. Because
Mhm.
sometimes you forget to say thank you to God.
You
You
do.
forget to
Yep.
say you forget to give him what he deserves, because none of us are worthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely
So
not.
I just be so amazed to talk about him because and what he got me through, being a voice. I never saw myself as a voice for
Mhm.
anyone, anyone. All I saw was Mina, the weak one, always getting bullied all the time, always being picked on, But now when God put me in my purpose, I'm more of
Mhm.
a tigress and I'm more of a tigress and it's more boldness,
Yeah.
compassion, and
Mhm.
everything. And I thank him so much for it. I thank you for letting me come on the show.
Oh, absolutely. I tell people, I say, when you find your purpose, I say, you just light up because and I do say this at the end. I kind of ask, I don't know if you've been watching how I close out each episode, but I am all about walking in your purpose because I think everybody needs to know what their purpose is on this planet is. And so one of my things that I am going to do is to write an ebook on how to find your purpose, and I always tell people, think about something that you do every day that you love to do. Usually that's your purpose because you're doing it without even knowing that you're doing it. You're encouraging people, whatever it is that you do. And I just say, spend some time with yourself and then ask God, if you don't know your purpose, I say, go seek it, find it, because in that is true happiness. Because when I tell you, I love, speaking to people and just what I'm doing, it's just so fulfilling. And
Yes, that's
God
it.
blessed it too, because I've been reaching people all over the world and different states and just making these good connections. And it's nothing but God. And so I'm just glad that God is using me, you know,
Yes,
this season to do what it is and to meet people like yourself
yes,
who, in spite of everything that you have gone through and how you've had, this in your body, you still know that you are existing because of him.
that's right. That's
And he
it. It's
didn't
only
take
because of
you down. And you don't have to feel sorry about what has happened because you know that you are covered by him.
that's right. That's
I
it.
love
That's
that.
it. That's it right there. That's
All
it.
right.
That's all
So
it
let
is.
me So let me ask you this. Motivating others make you feel what, Amina?
Ah. Motivating others make me feel like I'm bringing life to them. I'm
Mhm.
putting a light to them. Like, oh my goodness, it makes me feel so good when God uses me to help others. To bring that light to them, because I tell them all the time. I tell people that I've been through some crazy stuff. And I'm telling you, not saying that what you going through is not as worse as I'm going through,
Right.
but I'm trying to show you and tell you that God, mm, He is so merciful,
Hmm.
and to bring that light to a soul is very important to me,
Hmm.
because those lost people, those lost souls out there, it's
Hmm.
important to God
Absolutely.
that He want us that already know, that already overcame from what we went, to go out there and start talking to them. That's why He said, go out there, and spread the gospel.
Yep.
Do what God asks you to do. And I love putting a light to somebody. It could be a homeless person.
Right.
I don't care who it is, because God can use anybody. That's what I
Hmm.
love about God. He don't care if you're an alcoholic, drug addict. He don't show no favoritisms.
Mm-mm. Sure don't.
I
You're right.
just love Him for that, because and and I love that. And we go out and feed the homeless all the time. So I
Okay.
love to go out there, because I do have in my heart to build homes for them. So
Okay.
I've been looking for sponsors to help me with that. So I'm doing that. So that's something that I'm doing, because I want them to know that, hey, God exists. He's gonna get you out of this. He's gonna get you out of this,
Hmm.
and He could use me to get you out of it. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
build those homes for you, because I want them to. People think they're not existing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because they're homeless, but they're
Hmm.
still human beings. They're
Absolutely.
still human beings. I mean, I could. God didn't look down on you. Why would you look down on them?
Hmm.
I feel sad when people, even even sometimes when I don't have it, I have to cry sometimes, because I don't be having money on myself, and I be like, I could give them something to eat. That's what I
Hmm.
could do, but they be asking for cash,
Right.
and I don't have no cash, so I be like, you want something to eat? But they
Right. It's like,
cash
okay, I
is big. So but if I had cash, I still give it to them. Like, I remember the first time when I experienced my first homeless person that I encountered. He was in a tent, and he ain't had no food, no nothing, no drink, no nothing. And I was like, so God told me, go get him something. I went and got him something to eat. I didn't care how much money I had. I went and did it. Still been obedient and got him something to eat, something to drink. It was like a lot of food in this one container, and something to drink. And I left it in there, and I left a couple of dollars on him.
hmm
So I said, now that was great.
Right. And I've met, homeless people sometime. I remember this one guy, he used to ride a bike, and he was asking for money, and literally I didn't have any on me, but I had just came from the grocery store, and I was like, I got groceries in here, and I was just like, and I gave him a canned good because I'm like, he could get, heated. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
he said thank you, because it was something that he can use, because I didn't have cash, but I had, and I think I gave him something else. But that's a lot of time, I'll do that too. And just to help.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like sometimes you'll go in and in the gas station, they'll just say, can you buy me a soda, or can you buy me some chips or whatever? And I just do it, whatever they're doing. When I feel like, especially if it's some type of food, I'll do that. You know,
Yeah. I love it. I love it. It's sometimes it's beyond compassionate with me, because I like to give anyway. I don't care. I love to give. And it's like, anytime that I have the chance to give, I know I'm putting a smile on God's face. That's
right.
what I think about every day. I don't care who they are. I don't care if you could be the rich person. Ask me for $5. I'm still gonna give it to you, even though I know that you're rich.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, hey, do it. I mean, I'm putting a smile on God's face. But see, they don't know that because see, some rich people only think about the money.
Right. They're being ruled by the money.
hmm
So now we will get on a personal note. Um, what is your biggest regret in life?
Oh, that's gonna be my sickness right there. That's my biggest regret. Like it took a lot from me. Like, oh my goodness. I always used to blame my lupus for everything. I,
Really?
I mean, everything. Even though it changed me, and I mean, made me. I feel like the depression really got me towards the person that I am.
Hmm.
But because the sickness wasn't really the bother, because I don't know if I was born with it, or whatever. But it took a lot. It took a lot. It took. I couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't have a normal life. You know how other people they have babies by now, they have
Hmm.
kids. I couldn't have that. I couldn't have 20. I was in the hospital 27, teenage years, kid years. I was always in the hospital, so it took so much from me from my life. Like,
Hmm.
and I used to cry about it all the time because I would have the career. I even tried to go to college again and it wasn't good for me at all because my seizures was like just popping all the time. And I was so mad because that's something that I wanted to do. It's something that
Right.
I want to do, a career. And now I'm trying to go back though, seeing if I could see if my mind will let me go back.
Yeah, you can do
Well,
it.
because I want to go towards injustice. I'm always talking about injustice.
Mhm.
I always wanted to be a prosecutor. I always wanted to be a prosecutor. When I was little, I used to see my big cousin when she died from cancer.
Mhm.
Um, I used to see her all the time, make aids all the time. She was going to be a lawyer, and
Mhm.
that's what made me want to be a lawyer. Um, but I wanted to be a lawyer for sex crimes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sex crimes and for injustice because I feel like people these days are doing, just doing it, these cops just doing anything to black folks. They all need, I say, I'm gonna take all their money, mess around me. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be like King David in the courtroom. And that's what I call myself, King David in the courtroom. And I said that. But yes, that's the one thing I really wish I didn't have to go through. It's my sickness.
Gotcha. I can see that. Um, yeah. So, do you have a bucket list? What's on your
No,
bucket?
I never did a bucket list. I just go off of my thoughts, like what I'm gonna do, where I want my wedding to be, where I want but I do have my little where I want things to be at. Like I will have my honeymoon at a beach where I haven't been. That would be Murder Beach.
Okay. I've never been to Myrtle Beach either.
Yeah, I never been there neither. And so that would be one thing. I always wanted to go to Barbados. That's another thing, another place I want to go to. My brother and them, oh my goodness, they've been everywhere. Okay, my big brother, they went to Bahamas,
Yeah.
Dominican Republic.
Mhm.
I never been none of them Virgin Islands, all that. I'm like, y'all go everywhere, like, and so
Well, maybe you're gonna have to start taking you little mini trips, somewhere nearby, just so that.
yeah, I never been on a plane. I don't even know how it feel to be on a plane yet, or a cruise. I want to go on a cruise. I
Now
was gonna go with
that's
my
something.
church. I was
Mhm.
gonna go to my church, but see, since I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this job, I'm trying to wait for this job to come through because I'm trying to get off of SSI
Okay.
because they the government. I don't want the government taking care of me.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want that's one thing that's on my bucket list right there. That's another one on my
So
bucket
you
list.
so what you're saying is okay. So you want to go on a cruise is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to do a cruise. I want to do a cruise.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, it was this cruise. My cousin just went to. I wouldn't mind going to Dominican Republic, Jamaica, or something like that. Jamaica. I would love to go to Jamaica because I be seeing my church went to Jamaica. Oh my goodness. I seen the water there. They show pictures of the water. I said, whoa, that is so beautiful. I want to go there and see the water. Shoot, I love dolphins. I want to see dolphins.
Okay,
I
now you
want
can have the dolphins. I'm afraid of fish, so I'm gonna let you do that by
to.
yourself. So you'll know from me.
I love the dolphins. I love dolphins. They be at Virginia Beach or Chesapeake Beach. Some people say they can see them at the Chesapeake Beach. I wouldn't mind seeing them at the Chesapeake Beach. I never been there. I never been to a beach, but Sandy Point.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. That is just so awesome. Look, I have enjoyed speaking with you. So I do want to ask you this. So I do have a um, thing on my show where I have a gratitude moment, and so which you probably have already kind of told me what you're thankful for, but I just want you to tell the audience what are you thankful for?
Oh yes, I'm thankful for God keeping me alive. I'm thankful for my spiritual growth. I'm thankful for God using me to help others. I'm thankful for just doing God's work. That's what I'm thankful for. Everything in God is me. I just want to do everything for God. So I'm thankful for that.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right. So, Amina, so tell the audience how they can follow you on social media.
Okay. I'm on IG, Amina Scott. And I'm also on Facebook, Amina Scott. And y'all can follow me there.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And you guys can follow me on TikTok and Facebook as Tot Carter, on Instagram as Ivy Tot 10 and Talking with Tot.
Yeah.
Yes, and go out there. So also too, guys, go out there and follow, subscribe, and like me on YouTube. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the content that I do put out. Um, and also, let's see. I always mess up on the end. I know I got to get my closing better. I just go all kind of left on my closing.
Oh, you doing great.
I have enjoyed speaking with you, Amina, today, and for you telling your story. And as always, this is the one and only Talk Carter, a podcast that shows extraordinary people who are finding their purpose in life.
Yes.
Absolutely. Want to tell them bye, Amina?
Yes. Bye, everybody. And stay encouraged.
Absolutely.